Maximals, Max or Primal here. Welcome to that milestone. We're back at that milestone again. We're at that 2,400th video. Yes, yes. Yeah. So you're probably thinking, if you've got like a stack, hang on, there's not as many videos as that. You're a few short. Well, technically I'm not. It's unfortunate I deleted. Technically I deleted. But it was an accident. I deleted a page worth of content, which I regret. I don't know what happened. I was trying to delete, I think, like one dud video by accident, like it was like anything that didn't upload properly or was taken down, like the early Star Wars thing, and then boom. So yeah, that was thing. But yeah, so I was thinking what to do with this. Should I do a Should I miss it? Well, it'll take time, but I'll probably do that at some point. At least at some point after this video. I think that'll be fun. What's I going to do the lasso thing with Brian? Well, he's not free and I wanted to get this done again. I've left this for a while. I've been trying to think really hard. But sorry. So what's the thing I'm trying to think of? I thought for this video I'll talk about clans, groups, or Discord groups, clans, you know, well, groups and clans, because obviously not everyone uses Discord or other apps, etc. So fine. And you're probably thinking, why make this video about that? Well, I used to do like this thing where I'd like do little rants or like talk about, you know, things I didn't like, you know. I remember one time I did like the old gutter, that sort of thing, and I thought, you know what? I haven't seen many videos talking about clans as a whole, like, or groups, like, you know, communities. I haven't really seen many people talk about the positives and the negatives. And I think it'd be nice to see that, because, don't get me wrong, it is also pretty subjective, because, you know, there's that thing where it's tough, because obviously what I might find not cool about some groups might be the complete opposite for others, and vice versa, or maybe in between. It's honestly such a difficult thing, because there's so many variants of different groups and clans and so much more. So it's a very difficult one to ask. You know, if you had like a group of people together, I guarantee everyone would have a different opinion. I mean, the amount of people I talk to already, like, literally have different ones completely. But, you know, so what are clans and groups? So they're basically, this is, again, based on my opinion, it's subjective, you know, I'm just, you know, don't panic. It's one of those things where it's, well, a clan and a group are slightly different, but to me, I feel like they're meant to achieve the same thing. Clans are basically, well, as a whole, they're meant to be a thing where you get people into, like, this club. It's like a club, I guess. You get people in, you know, you play together. It's like a team, like a football team. Imagine a football team or sports team. You have, like, your shirt, your logo, you know, what your team name, that sort of thing. That's basically like what it's like, but for gaming. That's what clans are, basically. And groups are not clans, but they don't have that restriction of you must have like an emblem on, or, you know, a team ban underneath. You know, you just join a community. It's like going to a club where you just want to play football, or, you know, trying to think, like a football club, or one of those centres like where you go to, like, to meet other people, like, you know, or like when you're like a teenager and you go and like go to like a youth centre, whatever, like to a club and meet like loads of new people. It's like that, I guess. That's kind of what a group is. It's also a place where people get together and talk about what they're joining the group for, like gaming, books, art, YouTube, food, animals, so on. Like, insert whatever. Like, there's a group of everything, you know, even stuff that probably shouldn't be, but you get the point. There's a group, and mainly a group of everything. Clans are mainly a gaming thing. You mainly see everywhere, like, you know, you would see like FaZe or KSI, well, back in the day there was that, Optics, and you'll see a lot of people with like these gamer tags. I mean, that's one little gripe also. I mean, some people don't mind it, but I remember Austin had it, like EKSX, and saying like that was a game tag thing he used to do, and I was thinking, why would you pay money to change your name? I just think that's a bit odd. I never got that with some clans, but again, that's my opinion. Some people love that sort of thing, so there's that. And that's the thing. People have this different perspective of what a clan's about. It's about making friends, which I think that's true. Some people think it's about, you know, some people do it because they want to have control, or some people want to have like a leadership experience, which I kind of get that. and I see what they mean there. I used to be like that. Well, not used to be. I do get that. Yeah, like there's a lot of options. Some people just do it just because they want to, have a little bit of a complex to them. I mean, there's lots of variables. Or some people do it just to be spiteful to another group they're in, just to show that they're better. I mean, that's happened. I've seen it. As someone who's been in a group, I've seen stuff like that. So, I've seen a lot of different groups come and go. I mean, literally, I can give you a good example, because this is actually what I've done. I've asked in my Discord. I asked in my Discord group, and the Halo Waypoint and the Destiny forums, because I actually I'm curious, because obviously I have a clan on Destiny, but it's only there as an option. Like, for example, I run I run a Halo/Destiny community on Discord. It's not a clan, but it's got structures. Some groups have rules to stop people posting gory, inappropriate, not safe for work stuff, or to stop people being racist or stuff like that. They have groups for that. However, there's some communities that don't have any of those rules and just go full on, 18 plus. Like, they'll say whatever, and sometimes that's fine. Some people prefer that. Some people want to be an adult-only clan or group where they can just say whatever they want. Some people want to be dark humoured as possible. Some people love gore. I mean, we've had that. Honestly, we had someone with that before, and that's okay. That's why there's all these different groups, because you can't put everyone in the same. I mean, if there's only one group, not only would it be like a monopoly, but you would also have this situation where everyone, there'd be too much clashing. There'd be too much, and it's one of those things where you'd panic and fight with people, and you're trying to deal with, some people might not get, well, why can't I make a joke about women? Some people might say, well, no, you can't joke about that. You can't make jokes about sexism. Some people might want that. Some people might not. So then you have that clash. You might have people that like Halo, for example, and people like Call of Duty, but they might hate each other. You can't, that's why you have a group for COD, a group for Halo. That's why, these are what communities are. This is what groups are for. Like cats and dogs, vegetarian and meat products. Colours. I like the black colour. I like the white colour. Red, blue, yellow, pink. Whatever. Pokemon, red or blue. Pikachu, Charizard. You get the idea. Like, people have their favourite things, and obviously there's groups dedicated to these favourite things. That's how it works. There's a lot of, variations. I just have to get that point across, because it's a tough one. Because I talked to one of my friends about it, and literally she said, it's such a difficult thing to talk about, because you can't. Everyone has such a different opinion. And sometimes that's okay, because, for example, some people might want a group. Because one of my things was, I remember, as someone who tries to look for more friends to play with, sometimes it turns me off when I see a post about, people want like a group that's active 24/7. But then, as she said, well, there's people that do that, and some people do want that, and that's true, and that's okay. But then, to me, I might think, and that is okay. I think personally it's a bit odd, but some people might not, and that's okay. But so anyway, this is the thing. I decided to ask this question because I was curious about, and I was planning this video for a while. It's been like a week or so in the making for this, like getting these questions. There's not as many, but and I won't say their names because obviously they don't know. It's for a video. I think the Discord know, but obviously I'm not gonna, just to be safe. But yeah, so I'll start with Halo, because Halo was one of my main games for clans. I will say that, because I remember I used to have like Emma's like, right, we're gonna do clan wars and stuff like that, and obviously as a kid, like when I was like 13, like 12, like 11, 12, 13, like clans were just this thing where you could just say you're in it and that's it. Like, there wasn't Discord, there wasn't any of these other things. It was a lot. There was a lot of things like that. But then some clans would just take the piss. And I will say this: Halo 5. I don't care what anyone says this. Halo 5 did it right, but unfortunately people abused it. And one thing I hate, I will say this: the best thing about clans Halo-wise, well, I think they're good because they give people somewhere to go and play. You can get people together for customs, matchmaking, teamwork. And Halo 5, I think, did it right because you had a goal to work towards. You guys could all work together to get the Achilles armor. This armor set that you can only get by getting a certain amount of commendations together. These commendations, well, it could be like getting a certain amount of kills. Well, however, you have to all work together to get these kills. Like, you all have to work together. It's like a combination of the group. So I say, you know, I got like 150 kills, but then one of the other guys got 10, and the other one got 5, and the other one got 70 or whatever. You know, it all culminates together to make that big number, and eventually when you reach that milestone, you complete that commendation. After a while, after you complete enough, you get the chest piece, and then you get the body or whatever, and then you get the helmet and that sort of thing, shoulders, etc, etc. However, there was a lot of stories about this, and honestly, I do believe it did happen, and I could see it happening, which I think is scummy, but this is just people being people. This is humanity and the internet. You know, this is how people are. They would do this. Some people, supposedly, again, I never saw it happen, but people spoke about it like crazy, was people would actually let people in, they would get close to unlocking the armor, but then kick them out. They would kick them out right before and get their friends in. Basically, you're putting people in the coal mine, and then before they can get rewarded, you basically kick them out of the company, just so, you know, they didn't get paid for their labour. And that is scummy, and I will say that's the negative for clans for me. That's one of the main negatives for me, especially on Halo. I don't think anyone can agree to that. I don't think that's okay. That's never okay. You shouldn't kick people out like that. I think if they ever did that again, it should be a system where if they leave, you lose the progress they made to the stuff should have been taken off. So if those 50 kills they put towards your thing should have been taken away after. That way it stops people doing it, because I think that's not fair. I think it isn't fair, because that is just ripe for exploitation, and I don't think that's great. And then clans as a whole, well, not clans as a whole, clans on other Halo games, they're fine, but some of them, you know, take it a bit too far. I've had it where people are joining my... Oh, whoops, my voice is going. What the hell? God, sorry. Don't know what happened. My voice started drying up. What the hell? But no, so... Yeah, I had this... I'll tell you a little story. I was doing customs. I had this guy join, say, oh, can I do a thing about my clan? And I was like, okay. I thought, whatever. I mean, I wasn't really keen on it, but I was like, okay, give him a chance. But then he was trying to keep asking. I was like, dude, we're doing customs. Like, ask after. Or there's some people... And it applies to any... it applies for any community or clan, and that's personally something I don't like. I think it should be a case where if you shouldn't be spamming and being desperate. Like, look, it doesn't come off as good. You know, if you want to ask people to join a server or join your clan or group or community, whatever, like, cool, great, but do it in the right way. Don't spam it. Especially don't join other lobbies and self-advertise especially when it's not your lobby, and you know you try and get people. I think that comes across as not good, and you know that isn't great. But I'm pretty sure most people are growing up, but then some people might not. People might think, you know, put as much out there as you can. Great, fair enough, I get that, but I feel like there's a way of doing it. But yeah, so let's start with Halo then. This is the question I've asked for everybody, basically. This is for everyone. I'm curious about people's thoughts on clan/groups, and want to know what is the worst thing about running a clan/group, and also ask people what's the worst thing about clan/groups to them. I'm interested in seeing both sides, as some may see clans as a good way to meet friends like a group, but some may hate them for other reasons. Some may look at groups for just LFG reasons, and to just get carries, but some don't. Some find recruiting tough, but some find it fun, and some may find it easy to run a group or not. Either way, you know, comment below and let's get the discussion going. As curious about how owners/leaders and people who ain't running groups feel the same. Not feel the same. Groups feel, and same for the anti-clan folks, etc. Because some people don't like clans and groups. They think, you know, I've seen a lot of people go anti-Discord, which I don't blame them. I understand that. I used to be like that for a while. But then I do think, you know, it never hurts to just try stuff. But then I do respect people shouldn't have to do this A, B, C, D, E, F, G to just play people. I get that. But that's the thing. I did that with every post because I thought, well, with Destiny and Halo, because I thought, you know, look, I'm going to ask that question. And I think it's fair. Because, you know, so this is like one of the posts already for Halo. So my main issue is commitment and the fact that I bounce from game to game. If I joined a clan and they required a certain criteria to be a part of said clan. I don't see myself committing to a clan. I like to play what I'm in the mood for, and which conflicts with points of views of clans. Which, okay, I get what he means. I get what this I don't know. I don't obviously know. First off, I get what they mean, because it's a tough one. Because obviously, if someone says, "Oh, you've got to be active like once a week," 'cause I've seen groups do that, and that's okay. They have a right to say, "Look, this is our requirement," and each group can make whatever rules they want. It's their group; they can do one. We can't judge what other groups are. I mean, yes, some of them might be. I mean, obviously, like there's a rare exception, like the Halo one with Halo 5, where people would kick people out with the Achilles arm. I think that personally, that's not cool. I don't care. I will judge a clan like that. You don't use people and kick them out. But that's, again, it's a rare exception. Unless they're a scumbag group, there's not really, unless they're real pieces of work, I don't see why, we shouldn't have the right to say, look, if they want people a bit more active than other groups, so what? Like, that's just how they work. That's fine. And my rule is, as long as everyone treats each other like people, treat the game as a game, but treat people as people. I think that's how it should be. But that's me. Some people might have different priorities, and it is what it is. But no, I agree with that. I think it's just one of those things where it's a tough one, because obviously, each group has differences. Like some people might say, like I said earlier, once a week. I say like once a month. Some people might say once a year even. Some might say beyond 2 times a week, 3 times a week even, which sadly I will say for some people who have kids, families, work and stuff, college, uni, whatever, like schools even, because again, clans can be done by whoever and groups can be made by whoever, and unfortunately, time might not be great. I mean, the pandemic, yeah, that definitely gave people a lot of things to do. No one didn't really have much stuff to do, but unfortunately, with what's happened in the last couple of years, things have started to get better. Time's going to be more flexible. It's not as flexible as it was before, so I think now, I do think personally we shouldn't be demanding as much time possible, but that's just me though. Not my place to judge them. I mean, some groups I think, maybe go a bit too far, but then there's always that little bit of the community that does always push the boundaries, but again, that's okay. It's their group, they do whatever. So that's the thing. And here we go, there's somebody else that did this post which got me curious. Here we go. So this person literally put, thank you for the thread. As there are many questions from the OP, I'll do my best to answer from both perspectives. Being a current leader in a clan, to having joined and attempted to join many in the past. Running a clan: cons, keeping up momentum, maintaining regular events, game nights, having other hosts and helping with that workload too. Now I can relate to that. It is tough. As someone who, at times would struggle thinking, at one point we used to be in a real rut. It's like, guys, what do you want us to do? And like, sometimes people wouldn't communicate with us, and it is tough to keep momentum, because sometimes Destiny is a pure example of that. Like last season, with the season of the Lost, it was really tough. It was really dry. Like we had to do a wipe or something, because people just went inactive, and it sucked, because people just weren't talking anymore, and that is just unfortunate. Destiny has these dry spells, and that's what causes, it doesn't encourage longevity at times, but at least to me. For some groups though, Bannett, like again my friend, she's fine, like her group do great. So again, that just shows that hey, some groups might struggle with that, but some groups thrive off it. So that shows it depends. But I do, as someone who's been in that position, I get that completely. And running an event is tough, because again, you've got to plan it at a time when you think most people will be free. Do people have most of these games, like like Among Us or Monopoly or Rocket League or Halo? You got to plan this stuff out. It's not easy. And then hosting is tough, because like I said, I'm the only host at the moment, because obviously there's not as many of us, so we don't need loads of hosts. But if something happened in action, or if I couldn't do it for one night because I was unwell, then they're screwed. I mean, people can host, I believe, but I'm the main host, and hosting isn't exactly as easy as it could be. It's definitely not easy. It is difficult, because you have to deal with the random people that join, and my god, there's a reason why, and I will say this, there's a reason why I don't do the customs properly anymore. I don't record anymore, because the amount of people I've had come in screaming the N-word, or they're like 9-year-olds, it's like, oh my god. and it's like, you know, I've struggled with that even before when I started trying to do it. So that's why, you know, we've been struggling with that, and that's why I've not really done my game night videos as much anymore on Halo, because it's just such, it's a shit fest. Because it's like, you know, God forbid, I mean, at least with this I could like cut it out if someone said the N word, but on Twitch I feel bad for anybody who maybe streams with their friends and has random players in, because you can't stop that. You can't, and that's what I hate as well, you can't prevent that. Sorry, I went on a tirade, but yeah, I went on a bit of a rant there, but yeah, no, I get that. Here we go, another con. Recruiting new members through Discord and in-game. Okay, I get that. It's not easy to recruit, you know, at times. I think it can be, because you've got to compete with all these other groups. You've got to like, you know, you've got to put yourself out there, but sometimes it's such a tough thing, because you've got all these other groups that might have more members than you, more stuff to do. They might have a better post than you. They might have so much more going for them than you, which doesn't mean that the group that you have or clan you have is better or worse than the group that you're competing with. It just means that, you know, some people might click with that one more. Like, again, I'll bring up the case of people might have preferences. Like, you know, some people might like an adult only, dads only clan, or some people might want a group that is LGBT friendly, which most groups should be that, by the way. I'm going to make that clear now. Everyone should not be going, oh, well, our group is anti this and that and this and that. Like, no, everyone should be welcome. It doesn't matter about the look or colour or gender, whatever. Like, sexuality, it doesn't matter. Like, people should be, we're here to play games, not be like that. I don't get why people do that, but I digress. People might like the sun, moon, hot or cold. Again, people, it literally is down to stuff like that. People might think, oh, this class is better, they seem more active, they've got more members, and some people do that. So, you know, you've got a lot to compete, so that is a con. And then you've also got to compete with some groups who unfortunately have a bigger number, so they can self-advertise so much more better, because they've got more members to help boost that. And they also sometimes post over each other, like trying to compete. It can get real, like, competitive at times. It's not easy. But, you know, that's understandable, and I think that is a fair point. And sorry. But yeah, keeping things interesting despite the lack of in-game. Yeah, I literally said this earlier. It's so tough. Like Halo, actually, Infinite. It's so gutting what's happened with that. Infinite has pissed me off with, and I'm sorry, 343 need to get their shit together. It's fact. I don't care what's going on. I mean, I know they got their employees to look after. I respect that, but I'm tired. I don't like the fact Priority Zero is like, oh, it's like, I'm sorry, but don't put that on us. Go to your staff, go to your management, go to Microsoft, take it up with them. Don't go to your community and say to us, oh, well, we're struggling. Yeah, I'm not saying people should be in the coal mines, but come on, like, we deserved a better product. You know, I'm sorry. And unfortunately, because Halo Infinite, we were meant to do customs and forge, and we couldn't do any of that. The multiplayer was so restrictive, and at one point BTB was broken, so we couldn't even really all play together. So, you know, MCC's the main game for us now, so we're kind of stuck. And Destiny, again, it's okay at the moment, but at some point I guarantee it'll probably have a season where it'll be dry. And I think that's going to mess us up a little bit at some point. So, yeah, you got that. I agree with that. Lack of in-game content does not help at all, and both Destiny and Halo have had their fair share, and Halo at the moment is struggling. Destiny's okay, but that can change easily. I agree with that 100%. But then, again, I mentioned my friend, even when in Season of Lost, they still thrived. They still had raids going left, right and centre. So, it just shows that, hey, maybe, you know, it depends on the group. Maybe, you know, they can make stuff work out of whatever, and I like that, and that's good. Great power to them. I like it when groups do that. I think that's great. You know, fair play to them. I wish I had that magic. You know, I still need to get that magic, but you know, fair play to them. Moderating and maintaining order, understanding what is not worth dealing with and what needs to be called forward without being too strict. That's fair, and I agree with that. It's one of those weird ones. I think it's a tough one, because obviously this is, again, it goes back to what I said earlier about, you know, some people want to, you know, have dark humour, some people want to make jokes, some people want to post not safe for work stuff, you know, and unfortunately some people don't want that, and this is where you know, you have to draw a line in the sand. It's like, right, what are the rules, what are the guidelines, you know, you set these rules, and obviously, for example, I'll go, we don't tolerate discrimination. So if you had a disability or you're LGBT in that community, or if you're male, female, etc., or if you're coloured or not, or you're part of a different religion, we don't want people joining the server and then getting attacked for being like a Muslim or being a woman or something like that. Like, that isn't cool. Like, look, if people want to joke on, fine, but don't do it, in front of the people that don't want it, And I've always stood by that, because I can't control people, but in the group, keep it out of the group, and keep it out of people that don't want it. That's how I see it. I think that's fair. And that's the thing. It's just such an... It varies, because there's so many groups that just don't care about it. It's like not a big deal, but some people do. That's why you see so many people asking for these specific groups. Again, I use the LGBTQ one because of the fact that I've seen a lot of people asking for that, and obviously it's because they've had people. I've had my friend, she literally said, like, she had people being odd to her because she was a woman, like, not in a appropriate way, but actually being, like, ignorant, like, like, nasty, and it's like, really? I mean, it's the first time I've ever heard someone being nasty to her. I thought, really? Like, clearly got some problems. You guys don't touch grass, but that's the thing, though. This is why some people look for girl-only groups, for LGBT-only groups, for people with disabilities-only groups. And as someone with a disability, with autism, I can relate to that. It's tough because some people can be assholes. I mean, I'll go off the side for a sec. I've seen it on Destiny, where I've had one of our ex-members now, but he had a disability. We don't know what he had, but he had a disability. He struggled. You could just tell he had something, and because of his voice, he sounded a bit nasally. But he was a good kid. He was a good person. He was fine. I like this guy. He was fine. And he basically went into an LFG with one of our clan members, Discord members, and apparently the kid was, a good raid, but your voice was whatever, and they talked to this person like shit, and I was like, for fuck's sake, it's a game. Like, yeah, maybe people can't help it. Like, treat people with respect. And some people don't. Like, there's honestly people, we've kicked people out for, like, homophobic, things before, and it's like, yeah, no, we're not having that. So, no, I agree with that, but then at the same time, if someone makes a joke, you don't want to say, right, get the fuck out of my server. You don't want to do that either. Like, you gotta... That's why you have a strike system. It's like, hey, you set the rules down before they join. You tell them how it is. And if some people can't control it, then maybe that's for the best. But, I don't get how people can't just control themselves. But that's just me, though. That's why there's darker human groups, non-safe for work groups. That's why they exist. And that's what goes back to what I said at the beginning. That's why there's all these groups, because if you had everyone in one big group, it's just never going to work. Everyone's going to explode. It's going to be like a World War 3, 4, 5, 6. It'd be like battles constantly. It'd just be explosions. You can't have that. It'd be too much fighting. Now, here's the pros from this person. Meeting new people and giving them a place to connect and play with other people in matchmaking. Yeah, I agree with that. That's true. I said about this earlier. I think it's great. For me, I built it so I could have more friends to play. It helps my anxiety, meet new friends, and I met some people help me record over the years. You've seen Miss, you've seen Wolfstorm, you've seen quite a few other people. Shane, Brian, Laura, Sophie, all of them. Like all of them help. Jake, Sarah. Okay, another one. Improving gameplay and custom games with consistent players. I agree with this. I think it's good to have people with you, especially when you're doing LFG, because God forbid if the LFG gets messy, you got people there, so you're not on your own. Because I've started getting to a point now, it's like, I want a few people with me before doing LFG, because it's hard to, like, talk to new people out of the blue. And if it's just you and two other people you don't ever talk to before, it feels awkward. If you have your friends there with you, you can help get you can have this little environment, you get this atmosphere of everyone's having a laugh. And that's what you want to have when people join. So I get that completely. Having the game be more interesting as you have other people to play instead of playing. So, yep, I agree. Destiny is one of those games where maybe I'll get burnt out sometimes, but then when you're playing with a friend, it's fun, fantastic, great. And I think it's fun. I honestly think it's so much better. Halo is the same thing. I love it when people discuss stuff and just have fun and all of that. So, here we go, another one. Providing a container for those to help improve your clan. Providing them opportunities for communities and leadership. Okay, that's fair enough, and I can see that. Like, You could, I've met amazing people like my friend. You know, she helped me. You know, a lot of things. Like she helped improve our group big time. And again, I can relate to that. I can relate to a lot of these because it sounds similar to how my group is. You know, like I get it. You know, that's why you get new friends. And sometimes, you know, they might become an admin in your group. They go, okay, well, I can give out. I've got more free time. I can probably help you with this if you like. I could help host. I could help get events organised, and I can help deal with some of the admin stuff if you're busy. You know, if you've got family stuff going on, and that's great. And I think personally, that's a good point. I love that. That's definitely a pro. I agree. I've created my Halo community. I won't put the name there because obviously, again, you know, insert the name. Obviously, sorry if they ever see this. You know, just in case you didn't give permission. Halo community blank from the past experiences I've attained from other clans. One being 4 years service and 1 year and a half. Both well structured and active, to then provide that experience for other Halo players who may not have had the opportunity beforehand. The main reason why I created blank is to have other people to play with. The secondary reason is to provide extra content to what the game has already. Game nights in matchmaking and custom games, versing other clans, etc. Now, they've written like a long. I'm sorry I'm focused so much on Halo. It's just obviously, you know, this person put a lot of effort in. I actually will say I appreciate this post. I like this. And also that's the thing. You know, a lot of people do make groups to make friends. That's why we do this. And there's some that do it just to be like, oh, don't want to be controlled by anyone. Which, God, some people could just be odd at times. They just think, oh, having a rule is controlling. But whatever, that I digress. But that is the thing. So many people want people to play with, and honestly, you know, there is I will say actually personally, I feel like there is an oversaturation of clans. I feel like some people don't need to make a clan when there's a clan specifically for what they want already out there. I guarantee if they just looked a bit more. But I also understand where you probably want to make your own because you don't have to worry about being kicked out of your own group. I get that. You know, but I always advise, you know, I would recommend it to everybody, if you're ever looking for a group, just look around before making one because it's difficult. If you've got a small number, if you're a small number group or a new group, either way you're going to struggle to the big mega groups, and that's the unfortunate reality, and that's why I'm glad that we don't have this monopoly. But it could be like that if we let it happen. Right. So joining a clan, cons: having a strict ranking structure / leadership in place where it is hard to contribute your ideas or support. Okay, yeah, I get that. I can see what you mean. So basically, it's a case where it's hard because if you're someone trying to look for a clan, that's something. If you want to give ideas or want to help, you know, like you want to help it grow and give ideas, but because there's some clans that are like militarized, where they're like, you know, UNSC, this and that, like insert whatever like clan, or the Spartan clan where they have like proper roles, like right, you can't do this because you're this rank in our clan. It's like, but if he's got, to me, I think if someone's got a good idea. Like, I will, in my opinion, I mean, obviously, look, it's their clan, I respect that, great. But I think if someone joins and they have an actual good idea, I think it should be used. I think people should give people a voice to speak up and contribute to help the group improve. Everyone should have that right. Now, if someone said, hey, I think I should be admin because I think this colour looks cool, like, that's whatever, like that's not really important. But I think if you have a legit criticism and you can actually improve the group, work hard also by being in the group more. But obviously, you know, I feel like, at least for our group, you know, if we have members in, and if they have a question, it's like, you know, have you thought about adding this in? It's like, oh, not sure yet. We know, maybe we'll talk about it. That's a good point. You know, some people give feedback, and I think that's the whole point. You're meant to, that you should let your members have feedback. And if there are groups that don't let members speak up about anything, then I think that does sound a bit odd. But again, they do what they do. That's fine. Having to abide by what others may deem as fair rather than what you know to be fair. Now this goes back to like what the guidelines rules, because again, it goes back to, it's the same thing as what we said earlier about some people might be okay with, you know, this or that, not safe for work, whatever, you know. So what I think might be fair might not be fair for others, and this is where, like, you know, it was tough about this video, because, you know, whatever I say might come off as, well, just because I think this doesn't mean that actually is the case, or, you know, it's a tough one. But then I think, you know, no matter what, it doesn't matter who would have made this video, or whoever would have. Whoever does make a video like this, it doesn't matter. They're going to have a different opinion because every group is different. Every person's different. So we all have our morals. We all have our own honor code. We all have our own what we think is right and fair. We all have our different morals, whatever. We all have something that we think. Okay, that we all have a line. Everyone has that line. Some people might think, some people might think killing someone is okay as long as they deserve it. But then some people would go and say, well, to be fair, even if they're bad people, they don't deserve it. Killing's wrong. Like, people have as extreme, but you get the point. Some people have proper extreme morals, but then on the flip side of something non-extreme, somebody might go and you might have somebody that thinks opening the door for someone, it's only fair because they did something good for me, I'll do something for them, But then some people, on the other hand, don't see that as anything. They think, okay, whatever. Again, it varies. Everyone's different. Having to maintain a strict activity schedule only when required. That depends, though, because it depends on the group. Like, it depends what type of group you're going for. If you're going for a group where you're active every week doing events left, right, and you're trying to get like esports, like sort of things. So if you're trying to get like a team for like PvP, you probably need some sort of schedule. And if you have a raid team for Destiny, you kind of need a routine. You can't just pick and choose when to do a raid because you've got to get people on, set the time. Because raid doesn't take only 30 minutes. It could take like up to an hour or more, depending on the raid and the team. So you do have to have some scheduling. However, each group has, again, it goes back to what I said earlier about some groups may ask you to be on a few times a week, while some may ask you to only be on like once a month or more, so it does vary. But it is difficult, like when you're trying to do something and then people go against it. But then, again, that's why there's all these different groups, because if you don't want something that's as strict, there's this one, you've always got an option. It's like pairs of shoes. Well, these shoes don't really fit you, not a problem. What about these ones? Oh, well, these are a bit tight. What about these ones? Oh, okay, well, these ones fit fine. And that's fine. Great, you got your pair of shoes, you go. Like, not saying that we're like that, but you get what I mean. Like, that's what it's like. You're just trying to find the right fit. Great, and that's kind of the point, so it does depend. And adhering to others' expectations rather than your own. Adhering to others' expectations rather than your own. It depends. Like, for example, I would expect the group. It depends what. It depends. Because for me, it's a case where I see it as my expectations is people, give a shit about each other and show each other respect. Treat the game as a game, but treat people as people. I would like to at least have communication if people are going to be quiet for a while. I think that's fair. Because again, I don't want to kick someone down, God forbid, they've had a family thing going on. I don't need to know the details, but just say, look, I've got a family thing going on. I always tell people, I say, look, if you've got something personal going on, you don't have to tell us what it is, but just say you've got a family thing going on. Boom, done, saved, solid, done. And yeah, we'll do what we can. And I think it does depend, that's my expectation, but then to others, it's a con, because obviously that's why I agree it's a con, because it's tough, because others might think, I expect to not have to do that, and it's tough to adhere to people's expectations because they expect it not to be. But then again, you're not going to know until you ask your questions about the group, and until you're in it and actually see it. Again, it's about you might again, it goes. I'll go back to the shoe thing. You might expect these shoes to fit you, but actually it's like, oh, and the shoes might expect to fit on you, but they don't. The shoe owner might think, oh, okay, well, these shoes might fit you. You expect them to fit him, and they don't. It's like, oh, okay. It's like when your parents bring back, some, like trousers or a shirt that's just too tight for you. It's like, oh, well, I thought that'd fit you. And they say, no, it doesn't. And that's the thing, though. That's how it should be. I think, honestly, that is how it is. It depends. Here we go, now some more pros again. Having a community of people to play with, so you're not having to solo matchmaking. Yeah, we said that. I think that was what he said before. Having extra in-game content by having either ranking system to progress through or attaining clan awards on their Discord or headquarters. Now, yeah, this is the thing. Halo 5 did it right, I think, but unfortunately people were just assholes by the sound of it. And I do think if they ever did this again, they need to make it where the progress you put can disappear if you leave. I think that's how every group should be. I don't think it's fair that you lose It's like when Discord, for example, if someone leaves and it had Nitro, say someone boosted your server of Nitro, and let's say they leave, you lose that boost. Why can't that be the same for any other clan thing? I think that would make sense. It'll stop people farming other members, basically. I think that's quite scummy. It stops that crap. Yeah, but no, rank system, that's fair enough. And honestly, we used to do that when we actually did have the boost. You know, if people were boosted a server, be like, right, here you go, give you a nice little icon. You know, get an emo of your choice, and, you know, oh, sorry. For example, like if people are raided a certain amount of times, they get a role for that specific raid. It's like, right, oh, you're now a Vault Glass Raider Master, whatever. Now you're a Raid Master if you've done all the raids, current raids. Great, good, cool. So you got that. You know, there's a lot of options there. It's one of those, you know, you got options, and it depends on the group. You know, some people do have like a reward system in place. Some people even do money for competitions, which that is. We'll never do that because of different countries. Like, that could get messy, and I don't like the sound of that. I feel like that could encourage the wrong people for the wrong things. I don't know. So yeah, having the opportunity to verse other clans with your clan, again, proving extra in-game content. Yeah, I think that's fair, and I get that. And I think, you know, it doesn't hurt to have a bit of sportsmanship between other groups. You know, it's like other countries fighting in the World Cup, or, you know, Olympics. I mean, Guardian games. I mean, I've been thinking about trying to get my friends, a couple of our friends, in with their clans together and do like a Guardian game sort of activity, like where we get together and do stuff like that. I think that would be quite nice, actually. But again, I've got to wait and see, because, you know, it depends. But that sort of thing, I agree with that. That's a definite pro. Attaining an experience that gives more than what the game has to offer by itself. A community of people who consistently play Halo together and provide extra content for the game. Yeah, that's true. You might get, for Halo specifically, you might get forgers who might be able to build you maps. They might be able to help you with machinimas. You know, that's sort of like creative content. You know, community-made content-wise, they can provide you with stuff like that. You can also provide more for the game. You can stream, all that sort of thing. So no, I agree with that completely. Destiny can do something similar, but to be honest, they don't have a creative tool, really. They just have streaming, and that's really it. And people also help others learn raids, so yeah, there's that. Yeah, there are many reasons to join a clan, and I would highly recommend it for anyone looking to enhance their online Halo experience. Although you have to be careful who you join. There are many great current clans that I have seen, but in hand, it's the leadership that you have to keep an eye on. There are great leaders and there are bad leaders wherever you may go. If you find yourself in a toxic community with not good leadership, then you know that you can find something better. Conclusion, I would add more, but I would like to keep this as short as possible. I like to put the hard bit. It's like, yeah, I spent like so much time talking about this one person. I hope this sums it up well from the perspective of both sides. I have repeated myself in some points. Okay, that's understandable, that's fine. But it is for the very simple fact of the reasons why it is good to join the clan is that you have a group of people to play with. If you have further questions, I'll be more than happy. So, hope you found while saying, you know, interesting. Thanks for reading and thanks for sharing. Like, I'm implying them saying I appreciate it. And honestly, it's a good post. I do like that. And honestly, this person summed up pretty much everything I wanted to say anyway. Now I'll go to Discord and read what some of my members said. If you have enough people in a clan, you can set up events that would probably get filled. Best thing about them, you can work out who can teach and carry others through difficult situations in game. That's true. It goes for Halo as well to some extent, but Destiny, this is applied to I think more. You might be able to know who can help you with a raid, because some raids can be finicky. Like, you've seen some of my raid videos where Crown of Sorrow we might struggle a bit. You know, it helps to have the right people. I mean, there's a reason why we've still not done Garden or Deep Stone or Vault of Glass or the new one. There's a reason why we've been holding back on a lot of these raids, because we need to get the right people in. I need to get the right team so I can do it. You know, so I can do it with my character. I know I'm doing with most of them, but unfortunately that's the case. But no, that's a good pro. And obviously the negative is, asked, you know, is there anything, what's the worst about them? Nothing really, just need more willing to join and raid actually. The worst is small clans. You're all never going to be on the same time to do events. I would say 15-20 people in the clan, that's best. So, you know, that's the thing, that's the downside. If you're a small group or a new group, because I'll say new ones as well, because they start off with basically no one. sometimes, and obviously, I'm just genuinizing it. It's a tough one, actually. I agree with that. It's a toughie, and I do think personally it's a case where, it depends on the time, and that's why as well, if you're looking for groups, that's one thing as well. Some groups might be looking for people from different time zones. Like for me, why would I look for someone in Australia when I'm UK? Like, they're going to be asleep when I'm awake, and vice versa. It's pointless. I'm never going to see them. And some groups don't mind that. They just want people in for numbers, and it's like, well, maybe they'll find people to play in their time zone, so it's fine. We'll get them in anyway. But it's a risk, because you don't know how many are in that time zone when they're free, because everyone's different. Because even in the UK, some people are not free at the same time. So, like, you'd be surprised. Like, everyone's different. Especially on America's a whole kettle of fish because of all their time zones and how many different areas have different times. And you get what I'm saying. There's a whole difference there. But no, I get that. Another one, best. Always having people there to run things, helping others with stuff, teaching them and raising confidence. I get that. I agree with that, and that's true. I've had it where a couple of times I think I've had a couple of people be all like, oh, and some have had a real bad day. Like, they've had people treat them like crap that day, and needed something good. So look, let's get this very done, boom, and they were happy afterwards. They felt better, and honestly, it makes me happy it made me happy seeing that sort of thing. And honestly, I'd love to see that happen again. Also, I don't want to see people upset, but what I mean is, I would love to help people feel happy about their raid afterwards. To be like, I'm so happy I did it. Thank you so much. I want to see that. I want to make people happy and enjoy the raid and have fun. That's my goal. Obviously, I'm not perfect in it. I mean, obviously, I'm not a proper raid ship where I can flawless everything, but my goal is to do what we can, and I get that. And same with Halo, someone to lasso. I'm not good at it, but it's the same with customs. I had someone thank me, thank you for hosting custom games, and it's the same thing there. It means a lot having people appreciate that, and honestly, it makes me happy and it makes them happy, and honestly, that's what it needs to be. It doesn't hurt to be nice to people. I think helping people out is just as good as getting anything in life, really. So the worst thing, one, impatient people who don't realise people have lives and expect you to drop everything to help them and be on when they want you to be. And I agree with that. Like, actually, I will say this, and I'm not going to mention the name. About a week ago at the time of this recording, somebody was going to join in the group, and I was like, okay, well, normally what we do is we always talk to them first. Now, some people don't like that, and that's okay, I respect that, but it's what we do because we want to try and talk to them first about what we are about, what they want, and just explain what the criteria is, because we don't want to let them in and then they find out and then they leave. It's going to be awkward. It's a waste of time to ping everyone to welcome people who are just going to leave in a matter of seconds. So I'd rather weed out those people who are just not really in it for the community aspect and the people. They're just there for themselves, etc. Which most people are, but obviously there's those few that really just use groups, unfortunately. But that's just me. And this thing, I said, okay, well look, I'll be about 5 minutes. And then the thing was, I had to then help my dad with something outside, so I was about another 10 minutes. I came back, tried to message him, and I was blocked. And he was already in another clan, and it was just like, what the fuck? So, and to me, I hate people like that. I think if you don't have patience, I don't like impatient people, and I've seen it before, like when you're trying to do stuff, and then people will be like, ooh, it's like, look, unless something comes up that's important, then I can understand being a bit annoyed, but just be fucking patient. Like, jeez, I mean, I know I'm not exactly the most patient person in the world either. Like, yeah, my autism makes me a bit antsy at times, but that's me wanting to know what's going on. Once I know what's going on, I was like, oh, okay. I do stress, but I don't do that. But no, I agree with that. I think some groups need, no, not some groups. I think some people need to just chill out and be patient. Like, don't just send 10 different messages to 10 different groups, because, just message one at a time, take your time. That's what I'd advise for people, but no, I'll get to that actually later. 2, people ask for help and then either don't show up or are late without messaging you to make aware that you're going to be late. Which, okay, yeah, I've seen that where people have not communicated, and to me, the only time it's okay is if, God forbid, you had a family member, like someone had a heart attack, or you had a heart attack, or either emergency, the power's out so you can't contact anyone. I understand that, that's fine. And I'm sure at the end of it, everyone... I mean, yeah, it's annoying because you don't know what's going on, but I'm sure afterwards you'd be like, oh shit, okay man, I hope you're alright, you know, that's fair enough. I mean, it's annoying that, you know, yeah, it would have been great to have known, but that's more important. Like, everyone can agree to that. I'm sure there's people out there who will go like, oh, but he should have done... It's like, no, I'm sorry. What are you going to do? That's why we'll be like, well, no offense, what are you gonna do? You're gonna tell me, well, oh no, Dad's got a heart attack, he's dying right there, but I better text my group and let them know I'm not gonna be able to play tonight. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna do? They're not gonna do that. You're gonna focus on your family for fuck's sake. Like, you know, that sort of thing is different. There's some people that get impatient, but then there's people are understanding, which luckily we're like that, and there's others plenty like that. But I guarantee there's probably a couple like that who get like, ooh. All in all, games like Destiny would be such a pain in the arse without clans. Fuck LFG. Which, this is the thing, LFG, I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be, but it's a risk-reward sort of thing, because you might get people who are just there to get the checkpoint and fuck off, and I've seen that actually happen. I've seen people join just to get the checkpoint, and to me, those people suck, and they need to do one, because they're just sponging the leeches, because they don't want to do it themselves. But no, I get it, it's annoying, it is annoying. But no. And he added more, because I asked him about, you know, well, it depends, because obviously where people are busy. And obviously, I will say, like, look, if you know in hindsight you got to do stuff, if plans have changed, then at least tell people. I will always say, so as long as you message, I normally don't care. The amount of times I've been sat waiting with a full Sherpa team, and people just don't show up and don't tell us is infuriating. There are exceptions like that. You know, obviously what I said, because I said about, you know, people having family members, and that's the thing. There are exceptions, and that's good. But most of the people who have done it to us just won't say anything. 9 out of 10 times, it's easy to just message. If I've set time aside to help you, you know, with something, and you don't show up without messaging, don't expect me to help you with anything again. And I get that, that's a fair point. But at the same time, you know, what if it's emergency, like I said, I think that's always fair. Like, look, as long as they message you after, if it was a big concern, then it'll be a good... If they're not there, then hopefully... You don't want to hope that something bad's happened, but at least then it's like, okay, well, look, it's not like they did it to be a dick. They had to help their family. It was an emergency. But on the other hand, again, if it was someone who said, oh, sorry, I had to go and... Oh, so I went to go and get the shopping for my mum or something, or my grandparents, like, that's a bit different. I think you can text. I think personally nowadays people have got their phones and stuff. And yes, some people will disagree that, oh, well, I'm not on my phone and iPad or laptop all the time. But you could text, like, you got time before you go out. Surely you can type before you go out, like, quickly send a message, look, or change it, or just say, look, something's come up, I can't make, I'm really sorry. I mean, yeah, they might not be as happy, but at least you've said something. And I think that goes a long way. Especially if someone like me, I love communication. I appreciate when people do that. So, you know, for someone like me, that would be great. Another person, best thing about the clans are you are playing with familiar players and you adapt them. Which, I get that actually, that's a point, because unlike LFGs, you meet different people every time. You can't settle on a team. But with a clan or group or anything, you know, you've got people who you can get to know, you can have laughs, and you build friendships up, you play, have fun. You can build raids teams up, you can do customs, you can do matchmaking, you can work together, build a team up. You know, you can learn how you'll work together, you know, you can learn better strats for Destiny, you can learn how to the campaign quicker, or learn how to do lasso better, you can learn how to make maps or something with people, you can work together, do shorts, skits, machinimas, you could do a lot of things like that. So yeah. Worst part is sometimes people don't like each other and create some dramas in clans. It's happened so much in my clan, well, his old one. Yeah, that's the thing. I agree with that. That's kind of the main thing. People, I don't think anybody wants to be in a toxic community. I mean, apart from the ones who love drama. I mean, there's some people sat there eating popcorn every day, and you get off onto that sort of thing. But I digress. But yeah, I agree with that. That's understandable. And you know, I'll say this: I didn't get along with someone who was in our group before, like ages ago. And me and her used to like proper bicker, and it was like, ugh. But the thing was, we'd have to hold our tongue, and the thing was, it's like, even if we didn't get along 100%, I knew those people that didn't like 100% like me as much. I know there's people that don't. And that's fine, you know, again, I always make clear, not everyone's always going to get along, but show respect in activities. Don't go in this chat causing shit. Don't go into parties causing shit in front of other members. It's not fair. If you've got a problem with them, take it with the admin team, take it up with people, you know, I think that's how it should go. That's the thing. But no, I agree, it's not comfortable, it's not exactly the best thing, so I understand that completely. Alright, and here we go, the final bit with Destiny 2. I'm on the forums for that. So here we go. So it's the culture to me. As others have said, the number of people will eventually make it impossible to play with everyone, especially with the common requirements of meeting the min, light level, having so many raid clears, which is funny because you can't exactly get raid clears if you can't get on the team, because you need so many raid clears. Actually, and I will say that I see a lot of people demanding that, but then I think personally the know what to do crap on LSGs and that sort of thing is getting old. I think some groups need to. I will say this, with Devour the Disciple, it pissed me off a little bit, and I think people need to just get over themselves. When in the first 24 hours, you can't say people need this many clears. You can't demand that people know what they're doing, because I mean, you can, but you can ask for that, but you can't expect, especially when a raid's not even a day old, you can't expect people to know what they're doing properly. It's a new fucking raid. Some people definitely don't, and some groups do demand that, but then again, luckily you don't have to join that group. There are options out there, again, like ours. Again, it sounds like I'm advertising, but I'll use mine as an example. We don't have a raid requirement. The only time we do it is if we got an event up and it's like, right, we're doing this raid, but we can only take 2 learners in. That's just because it saves stress, it saves time, and also it also helps people learn, but without costing everything else. Because if we took like a 3 or more in, it could get so hectic, and honestly, it's too messy. Unless it's a brand new raid like a day 1 thing, then there's no, you know, it's just bad that way. But no, I agree with what this person's saying, but ultimately some clans just want hardcore endgame players who know what they're doing. That's just whatever. That's why they exist. Again, it goes back to what I said. People make these clans so because they don't exist. Like, oh, well, I want a clan that knows what they're doing all the time. Okay, well, there's that clan. There you go. Great. There's that group. Great. So yeah, and I agree. I think it's personally a bit odd where people like go, "Oh, you need to get these clears again." Vile Disciple was poor example. How are you meant to get clears for that when you haven't even done it yet? Like, again, it's a new fucking raid. You can't demand this activity. Everyone ends up focusing only on leveling up their own characters so they can hopefully get a spot on one of the main group fire teams. That kind of clan will have a lot of members but minimal activity between members within the clan. And that's the thing though, it depends. Like, yeah, there's a team, but then I think as someone who's got friends in a perspective, as my friend said to me, she literally said it, and so did Austin, you know, they're trying to get their respective clans up and their groups, because obviously they get like a dedicated team sorted already, so then they can actually help others out, which I get that. If you have a core team that can help people constantly, like over and over, that's great. It means then those people can then start doing raids and helping others out. You have more people able to do it, which means not just one team has to do it now all the time, and I get that. That's actually a fair point in their defense. I do get it. Maybe I misread that bit, I don't know, but I have to disagree with that slightly, but I get what they're saying. But that's the thing though, there are some cases where some groups do have cliques and bubbles, which I think, again, don't invite people in if you're not going to bother with them, but whatever. Anyway, however, if you foster an inclusive culture across the entire clan with the leaders and higher light members focus on helping the new and lower light members level up, complete activities, learn raid mechanics, etc., then you don't just increase the capabilities of individuals but the entire clan. Instead of just the 1 or 2 main fire teams running raids, dungeons, nightfalls every week, you have several to that advanced and learn. And I agree with that, because I agree with that, but then I go back to what they said earlier, what my friend said. You know, they literally, that's their reason, and I can see both sides. Like, yeah, there's some groups that don't give people a chance, but I also think it's fair because, wait, what the fuck? Why is my character now not doing the chair thing? I just realised. Sorry about that. But yeah, so I didn't realise how long I was just looking at my phone, but this is the thing. You don't know how long it'll be. You don't know how long it could take, because unfortunately, you know, you need a team to know what you're doing as well. But I think when a new raid's out, it's fair game, but once there's like a solid team, you know, everyone can have a fair go. But when it's like an older raid, you know, you want to get a solid team done so you can help people, make it easier. But it's also to help streamline, and I can get that, because I've tried taking more than 3 people in to a raid, or 3 or more people, and sometimes it's failed, like badly. So I kind of do get it. So it's good to have people that can hold their own, and that's why I see people doing it. But I agree with what they're also saying about getting the snowball effect, but that's kind of what I was saying as well, and what they were saying as well to me. Like, that's what my friend in Austin was saying. You know, she and him were saying about the same thing. Like, you know, it's just so they can actually get others sorted out. And honestly, that's the main point. You want a core base so then you can get the snowball going. But yeah, so then as the clan continues to grow, those people can go on to form more groups within the clan, teach others, etc. The end result is, even if there are too many members to realistically play with everyone within the clan, the entire clan is still active. You know, that's the thing. Another one, my personal thing about clans is just the size sometimes. I find the hardest thing about them is at a certain point of member amount, people seem to get left out a bunch because there's so many people. It's almost impossible to even play with your clan members. I get that. As someone who's an owner, you know, I always like to try and play with everyone. When we get a new member in, I like to always try and play with them. But I can't imagine it at the moment, but I can see it. If you had like more than 100 members, I could see it being tough, because eventually people might go off to their own little thing, and you know, you don't want to lose contact people, and you know, they get left out of that big circle. And I want to have this inclusive circle with everyone, but it's really tough to do that the bigger it gets. But that's kind of also down to the members. I also believe it's down to your community, your clan, to keep those people in the bubble. If no one's bothering with them, and you're doing everything you can, that's not on you, that's also down to your members. That's fair. So I agree, I do get what they mean there. And honestly, a big clan can be intimidating, but a smaller group might help. But then you also think, I don't know, there's benefits to both. But again, that's why, you know, there's mega clans. You know, people love that, some people don't. Fair enough, there's other options. Last one, Bungie needs to revamp the clan system and give more incentives to interact. What those may be is up to them. I think a clan space would be nice, like in Division 2. Managing people's personalities seems to be the biggest... Oh, I'll get to that in a minute. I actually agree with this. I think Destiny should have a clan space. Again, I mentioned Halo a while ago with Halo 5. But that had a flaw, and I think if Destiny was to ever do something like that, they need to make it so if someone leaves, the progress you're making towards something is gone as well. And the reason why I say that is because I think personally it's to stop people getting members in just to kick them, because people will do that. They will farm for rewards, and there are scummy people on the game, just like on Halo, just like everywhere. Everywhere has bad people. Just like there's good people, there's bad people. It's a fact. But you know, if they did something like that, I think it wouldn't hurt. There's a small little space. You know, you can upgrade your... I guess maybe somewhere in the helm, somewhere would be great. You know, I think that would be nice. I think that would be a nice little thing to give clans a bit more, you know. I mean, again, it's not. I'm not saying it's important and should take priority over content, but hey, a nice reward. I think it would be nice. Why not? Yeah, here we go. Managing people's personality seems to be the biggest challenge. Not everyone is going to get along. Over time, people tolerate one another to get things done. But this is the nature of the game. When people say too many clicks is BS, humans gravitate towards people they like and get along with. Point is, you can't make everyone happy. I get that. I agree with that 100%. There's some bits I slightly maybe disagree on, but other than that, I get it. Again, I've had people that might tolerate one of our ex-members. Like, again, it goes back to the one I used to get bullied a bit by randoms in an LFG. Some people might not have got him as much, but then, you know, that's okay. But as long as people tolerate, and again, treat the game as a game and treat people as people, you know, just be like co-workers. You might have a co-worker that you don't like, but you can't just go up to them and say, fuck you. Like, you can't. Like, unless they're being a dick to you, and then you go take up and manage it. Again, the same thing. Issues with the member, go to the admin. go to admins, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? You've got options. You don't need to be a kid about it. But then some of them are, so I guess can't really tell them not to be a kid when they are. Too many clicks is BS. I think that is true, but it isn't, because I've seen it personally where people have. I agree with what they're saying. It's true that people gravitate more to the humans, and that's true. I click to more people better than others, but the problem is, well, I think some people are on about. I think some people maybe, but some people, and including myself, I have seen it where people are in their own bubbles and they just don't want to expand. They just want to have their small group of, and that's it. In that group, they don't want to have anyone else in it, and I think, to me personally, that's a bit unfair. I think people should give people a chance. That might be another person in your bubble who you might get along with. That might be another person worth adding to your bubble, but instead you're just shutting them out because you don't want to change, which, okay, it's up to them. That's their choice. They do whatever. But especially when you're in a group with loads of members, I don't think that's a good idea. People making their own little bubbles. I don't mind people having preference. I always think that's fine. Everyone has that preference. We all gravitate to people differently, but give people a chance. And I think, there is such thing as clicks. There is definitely that, but it's not as bad as I think it is. But I've definitely seen it. So yeah, that's all the thoughts about the clan system. And honestly, this is a toughie, because for me, we spent an hour talking about this, and honestly, this is a weird video. I know it is. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys watching this. And I do appreciate it. And again, I know some people might disagree with this. And I understand. I mean, my friend, she asked me, why did you want to make this? And honestly, I thought, well, I'm not really seeing people talk about groups and clans as a whole. I've not seen people rant about it. I've not seen people saying the bads and the goods about them. I typed on YouTube, didn't really see any. I saw some people talk about maybe a Halo clan, like the toxic side of it, but then only one video. I've rarely seen it. Now, it's not a big drama issue. It's not like clans. There's like this big issue going on with groups and clans. Like, yeah, recently I found things annoying, but in the grand scheme of things, is it really that important? No, it's not. There's not big drama things going on with them. I mean, each group has their own issues. Yeah, no group is perfect. Yes, spoiler, I know that. I know some people don't want to hear that, but none of us are perfect. That's what makes us human. That's what makes every group perfect. Governments, clubs, football clubs, tennis, art studios, game creators, pet shops, Walmart, I don't know, Tesco, it's whatever, like, nowhere's perfect. And that's fine. But, that's the thing, and it goes back to what I said earlier. Everyone's different, and maybe this is pointless, and that's fine. I do respect that. No, it might be pointless, but I just wanted to talk about it because if I wanted to get off my chest, and I just thought it'd be nice to talk about them a bit. And also, I do have some of my own opinions. I gave my pros about. I think I did earlier about I think they're great for getting people together. I think it helps keep you occupied, especially for someone like me with autism. My Discord group has helped my anxiety. Do I get anxious sometimes regardless? Yeah, because sometimes there might be an issue that pops up, oh god, what's happened now? Because, God forbid, you don't want issues, no one wants that. Or, God forbid, you might have it where somebody has to go, and, you click with that person, but that's fine, it happens, people come and go, and that sucks. But it does happen, and you can't control it, unfortunately. Some people leave on good notes, some people leave on bad notes, but it is what it is. That's life. That's work. It's like work. Somebody might leave because they're having a kid, but some people might be forced to be fired because they stole something out the shop. That's how it goes. There's the good side and the bad side of it. And like I said, for me, my pros are just that, just having friends to play with and having a community. I feel like I've had this now for nearly 3 years now for this group, and it's the longest group I've run. I'm so happy about having it. I feel proud about having it. I've had a lot of supportive people. Some of them have come and gone, yes, but because of those people that were there, if it wasn't for them going or doing what they did before, I probably wouldn't have improved. So, you know, as much as some of them may be assholes, a couple of them were, you know, in a weird way they did help. You know, we've been here 3 years, and honestly, I appreciate it. And there's been groups that have been there since, I mean, there's some clans that have been there since Halo 2. Oh, whoops, don't know why I did that. That's my fault, sorry. But yeah, you get what I mean. Like, some people literally have been around for decades, and fair play to all these communities that have been there since then. Fair play to you, salute to you. I respect groups that have been there for more than 2 years. It's a lot of energy, and I can't imagine stopping, because if I had to give it up or it was gone, I'd be gutted, because so much, it's not just history, but like so much passion went into stuff like that. And honestly, as an owner, it means a lot. It's tough because and as someone who was in a clan like a few years ago in like 2019, and yes, I got kicked out of it because reasons, yada yada, you know, I used to kick off sometimes. I was stressed out by my uncle. That was just bad timing, fair enough. Before that, I found it fun. Like, it felt welcomed. It was nice. I got into a raid. I got to play with people. I enjoyed it. And as someone looked for a clan at the time, I found that a fun experience. I found that sort of thing a blast in the past. I think that sort of thing is great. It's fun to play with. And honestly, I have to be honest, I think that is a blast. Now, cons. I think my cons would be, it's tough to recruit at times, but then it's mainly tough when you're a smaller group, and I think it depends on how you present yourself. Like, as my friend says, she's good at this sort of thing, you know, she does like work in, I can't remember now, I'm on the spot now, but she basically does like analytics and, you know, marketing, that sort of thing. And she basically, you know, it's how I present myself, it's what we write about it, like, you know, and I get that makes sense. Some groups proper write a giant paragraph, like the paragraph I read earlier, but then some just don't write anything. Some of them just send an invite, and, you know, sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Again, it depends on the person you're trying to get. Again, sometimes it works, sometimes it won't. And that's the thing. Some people don't like the idea of joining a Discord. Some people don't like the idea of downloading an app to talk to people. Some people just don't like the idea of crossplay. Some people don't like the idea of this and that. You know, again, there's a lot of variables to discuss. Like, honestly, this would be like another hour if I went into it. So, this is my advice to... I'll give my advice now to... and the last thing with cons is... It's not easy... It's tough hosting and trying to put yourself out there. You know, you're the one doing the recruiting. It's tough. You have to deal with a lot of bullshit in hosting customs on Halo, because you have these people come in and throw with their friends in, and they're fucking around. And yeah, they're having fun, but then there's times where they say the N word and just go too far, and it's like, to me, I think it's like, yeah, you dude, stop, you need to go, and then they just get going, and then they get reinvited, and people just cause trouble, and it gets tiring, especially like at 10 o'clock at night or 11 at night. And then for Destiny, it's tough, you know, you have to scour the forums like mad and read the posts, because, you know, and some people don't read them, and whatever, they do them, that's fine. But it's tougher because you have to filter through all these other clan posts, because there's no filter to look for clans and people looking for clans. So you got all these, and it's like, jeez. So yeah, you got that. Yeah. You got that. And you will have people waste your time sometimes. You will have it where people, you know, and this is when I'll get into my advice if you're starting a group or looking for people. So if you're starting for a group, you will have people waste your time. You will have people join and leave and probably use your group, especially on Destiny, like for a quest or something, then leave. It will happen. Again, this is just my advice, my opinion. I'm probably better advice than, you know, preaching my own words. You know, I'm not exactly great at it, but fair enough, I'll be honest there. Talk to the people first, you know, get to know them a bit before they join. Like, talk to them and then invite them to the server. Don't let them into the clan straight away. That's what we do, but mainly because it protects you guys a bit as well. It doesn't, you know, they don't get in. Hopefully, you can weed out some of these people. Have a way to weed out the people, but make it fair. Like, don't make it a reasonable thing. Don't do somewhere where it's like, oh, you're gonna be active 24/7, otherwise you're gonna be kicked. Like, no, like, I mean, look, they do whatever they want. People, you can do what you want, great. But I think personally, that's my advice to you guys. Try and get a system in place to weed out people before they join. Like, weed out the people who potentially could waste your time. Like, ask them questions. You know, if they don't want to talk to you, then to me anyway, I think that's a red flag that maybe they're not for you. But if you don't care about quality over quantity, shoot, send an invite. Yeah, you will have people waste your time. You know, try not to take it to heart as much. You know, yeah, if someone's clapping and wasting your time, just give like a bit of feedback on the post. Like, oh, you know, I'm gonna pass. You know, this person just left and join instantly. You know, they've been very odd, or they were being awkward in the pipe, playing loud music on the mic, being awkward as hell, that sort of thing. And you know, that's it. You don't need to be a dick about it. Don't call them out going, oh my god, they're a fucking dickhead, and oh my god. It's like, you can say, look, they're impatient, whatever. Like, it's feedback. You know, it's like, hey, you know, they were just being assholes, and I think that's great. But you don't need to say the assholes. Just say, you know, hey, you know, there's clan ops or whatever. That's it. You don't need to go as far and be a complete dick about it. That's my advice for that. Now, if you make a group, think, you know, try and think what you would want. Like, what would you want your clan or Discord, your clan or group to be? Like, what is your game? Like, what's the main game you want to play? Or if it's a group, like, what would you want to make a group about? Would you want to make about anime? Would you want it to be about Transformers, gaming, art, animals, you know, YouTube sort of thing, you know, films? You get the idea. Like, what do you want your group to be about? And, you know, build it on that and make it, try and put your own spin on it. You know, try not to be a copy pasta of, you know, other groups, but just try and make it your own. That's what I advise as well. And I'll say with rules, don't be afraid to change things up now and then, especially if you have guidelines or a system to stop people causing trouble. You don't have to have guidelines or rules in if you don't care about that, great. But if you want to stop people, you know, posting not safe for work or go or whatever, then have a guideline in place and make sure people read it. You know, have like a set of rules, and that's it. If people don't like it, again, it's not a problem. There's another group that'll probably fit them. Just like there'll be a group that, like yours, that might fit for that person, etc. Like, somebody might join you because you're a right fit, but then somebody might join you and be like, oh, well, I want a post score. But that's fine, they'll join another group. That's fine. So, that's my advice there. You know, don't be afraid to change the rules now and then, because again, you might change your mind about things. Things might be a bit, you know, a grey area. So, like, okay, well, actually, we didn't think about this, so should we update the guidelines? Because, like, what is class is this? And it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe we should update it because this is a bit of a grey area. And there you go. Like, there's no harm in it. There's no harm. You know, it's your group. You're allowed to update the rules. You know, long as I would say don't do it like every month or something, because obviously, you know, that's, you can do tweaks, upgrade the server as a whole. Great. Now, decide how. I would say if you're going to do anything, Discord's the best option. It's the most popular one, but there is an option if you're on Xbox clubs. Unfortunately, they have improved over the years, but unfortunately it's not on the mobile as much as it used to be now, which I miss, because I used to be able to have clubs on Xbox, on the app. That would have been great, because that could have actually been a good option, but that's why Discord is actually used more, because I think Discord is used for that reason. It's a good system for that alone. It's good for organising multiple channels. You can organise by admin chat, have all these separate channels, etc., filter roles. So you got that. Right. And also, try not to be a dick to people. Like, don't, you know, if people try not to get as irate. I mean, yes, sometimes I do, and you know, I will say that. I mean, some people have pissed me off over the years, but that doesn't help my autism. Like, you know, that doesn't help. Like, but even still, you know, that's my advice. Try and be the better person. Yeah, there's some people who honestly are dicks, and I don't blame you if you know, lash out a bit saying, you know, oh, go fuck yourself or something. Like, some people have really pushed over the years. I've seen some people. But, you know, and I do get it, some people can be dickheads, but, you know, try and be the better one, trust me. Yeah. And remember, remember why you. And if you ever struggle at any point, just remember why you made the group. Like, why did you make your clan? If you don't lose focus of what your main goal is. Like, don't try and make a group and then suddenly go to, oh well, don't lose focus of what you made the group for. If you made it for fun, or just as a place to make friends, or just do something that other groups have not really done yet. Focus on that. Don't lose sight of what your goal was or is, and don't forget why you did what you did. And also appreciate every member you got. Even if you got 10, 100, 1,000, appreciate every single one, because if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have your group, you wouldn't have your customs, you wouldn't have your group, you wouldn't have anything like that. You get what I'm saying? You wouldn't have any of that. Now, for those who are looking for groups, this is my advice. Take your time when looking. If you're on the forums, I would suggest please adding more than I'm looking for a clan. I'm not trying to criticise, I'm just saying for someone like me personally, or maybe some others as well, it would help, because we've had it over the years where we've seen people go looking for a clan, and it's like, okay, but what type of clan? Are you looking for PvP, PvE? And some of them are like looking for serious clans, and it's like, but you never made it clear like what you're looking for. And add a bit more than hit me up or send me invite. Like, some people don't add more, and I think personally I would advise try and explain what you're looking for. Like, especially if you've got a disability, like, you could say you don't have to, but add whatever the help. Like, make it clear, look, I'm looking for, like, again, I'll go back to the LGBTQ and the other things. Like, some people would say I'm looking for this specific clan, again, because they want to make sure it's like, look, I'm making this clear, I'm looking for this, and make it clear what you're looking for. That's what I'm basically trying to say, because you don't want to just say hit me up and then you get 10 invites from a clan that you know for a fact you're not interested in, but because you didn't specify, it makes it harder, and it just saves you that fluff. And hopefully, I mean, some clans just don't read the post, unfortunately. At least I'm pretty sure they don't. Some of them say I don't want Discord, but then guess what? 2 clans post, oh, you need Discord. It's like, it fucking says no Discord, dude. Like, come on. Like, some of them don't read, but whatever. That's them. Whatever. But some people, like, again, I might see a post that says, oh, no Discord, I want to join Discord. So, okay, well, I won't waste that. I won't message them, because we do require Discord, and that's fine. And to me, I think that's a good starting point. Make it clear what you're looking for, so it helps you and helps others. Also, take your time with what you're looking for as well. Like, I'd say maybe don't just join. I mean, this is a detriment to my group, because obviously, I'd like people to join my server right away, but don't just join a clan like that. Just look at everyone, look at their messages, look at each one. Then I'd say pick the best one out of all of them that you think you want to try. Send a message, and if you don't get a reply within like a few hours or like a day, try the next one, and so on. Like, if the person was there, I mean, I'll say this, my notifications sometimes are messed up, but that's fair game, unfortunately. That is what it is. Don't just, I mean, I guess it's like a job. I guess it's like when you're looking for a job, you send like multiple things out trying to reach out, get it. But you don't need, it's not like you need it. It's not like you need a clan right away. Just take your time, because you're going to get multiple people inviting you, and you don't want to just be in multiple parties talking to everybody. It just saves you a bit of time. And I mean, I would say that could also help, is talking to every person. That would be a good idea. But ultimately it's up to you how you do it there. But I would advise take your time and just enjoy what you're doing. Also, personally as well, this is like a little advice bit for me, personally for me. If you got an issue, let's say the group, if you got any concerns or any questions, or maybe you're too shy to, or maybe you don't feel like you need to, that's fine. If you've got any concerns or issues or questions, anything, doesn't matter how little or big they are, ask them. Ask your questions. Do not sit there and be like, I mean, some clans won't ask you questions, they'll just let you in, but some, like mine, would be like, oh, okay, how come you're looking for a group? Or, well, how active do you think you'll be? Or, are you okay with playing other players? Because some people don't like playing other players, weirdly enough. I mean, I know, right? They join a group to not play with people, like, I know, it's odd, but whatever, people do them people have their own preferences, that's fine. Ask questions, because that's why you do it, because you don't want to join a group and then it's like, oh, I should have asked that, and then it just saves you hassle. Because I mean, again, I've always had to be honest, and sometimes it's not worked, but I've had to be honest. I'm not going to sit there and lie saying, oh, 100% active. You know, I'm going to ask them how it is, and yeah, it might not help my case getting new members in, but at least, you know, I would like it to ask me questions, or if they got a concern, like say, hey, you know, I'm concerned about activity in my clan. Like, I would advise, if you join a group, don't leave it after like a day. Like, unless they're proper toxic and giving you harassment and being horrible, then fair game, fine. But if you're joining and they're quiet, give it more than a day, because again, it might be a quiet day, especially if they're a smaller group. You know, you can't expect them to be just as active as a group of 1,000 members. That's not possible. That's where the expectations, I think, need to be drawn. Like, you need to expect, the smaller the group, the expectations need to be a bit lower. The bigger the group, I could see a group of 1,000 members. I could see a bit. I should expect lots of activity. If there's a group with 20 members, I shouldn't expect the same amount, because again, it's a whole different ball league. And ultimately, I'll say this as well. My final bit of advice, you know, for those looking for clans: show respect to everybody that you talk to via the, you know, Halo or Destiny, doesn't matter, anything. You know, don't blank them out if you found another group. Like, if you're talking to more than one leader, and I say you found another group, and you're asking a question, they reply to you, show them respect, and oh, well, okay, I appreciate that. However, I think I might have already found a group that might be more to my liking, but I appreciate, you know, thank you for your time. Now, am I saying you need to say it like that? No, but I think it's just, you know, people give their time to talk to you. I think you should give that back. But that's just me, though. I think show people respect and show other groups respect, because again, at the end of the day, some people, not all groups are perfect, but at the end of the day, the people on the forums are people as well. Yes, some of them are gremlins, but everywhere has them. But you get the point. You know, we're all people at the end of the day. Show people that respect. You know, if you know, give people that respect. Like, treat those clans with respect. Treat the people with respect. If they're treating you like crap, leave. You know, don't talk to that group again. Find a group that is more for you. Again, if these pair of shoes hurt you, then they're too small, too tight, they feel horrible, take them off, say they're not for you, and go and get a new pair that will fit. That's basically that same principle. I hope this helped, and honestly, I'm not saying my advice is great. You know, again, this is based on my preference. Some people, again, might give you advice that might go the complete opposite of what I've said. I don't give a shit about anyone else, but then, again, that's just my preference. And that's okay, just like it is okay for you guys to have your own preferences. You know, so I want to thank you guys for this. Like, this is a very long video. I don't know why as long as it is, but that person's post took so long. You know, thank you guys for watching. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next video, and it should be fun. I thought it'd be nice, and I don't know how this will go. Hopefully, you know, people won't go ballistic. Again, I'm not blaming any clans. I mean, there's a couple that are assholes, but again, there's always that minority of assholes in every community and clans or whatever. And again, the only clans I don't like are the ones that kick their members after getting the awards. Like, they're the ones I think are assholes. Or maybe the elitists, like, look down on people. I think there's a bit of a line there, but whatever. If people want to be the best in the world, great, but don't be dicks to other people because of it. So yeah, I want to thank you all for watching. It's been a blast. It's been fun talking, and honestly, it's been nice to discuss something a bit different, you know. And again, I wanted to talk about this because for me, it's like, you know, I built a community for ages, and I think it's just nice to talk about something that I don't do on YouTube, because when I'm not doing this, I'm with them. So that's my other half. Apart from me also being at home with my family and the hamsters and and the doggo and that, you know, for me, this is important. This is what keeps me happy. This is what keeps me active. And yes, sometimes I struggle at times, but you know what? It's nice to have a group like that. And honestly, I hope to God all of you who do what, if any of you watch and need a group, or some of you are anxious about joining groups, Look for the right group for you. Give every group a chance. Obviously, don't join one you know for a fact you're not gonna like, but look for one that works. Look, like if you're shy and anxious on a group that works for you, great. Look for that sort of group. I guarantee there is a group. I would say as well, try not to make don't try and make your own group without expecting it to just be like filled up instantly. Like it's gonna be slow. It's gonna be a struggle. So just bear in mind. So before that, try and look for another group before that, because there is a saturation. There's a saturation, but ultimately up to you and good luck, honestly. And thank you guys for watching. Take care. See ya.